Hello, I'm Serge from Swiss Tesla Fan. So today we're going to test the improvements in the windshield wipers as it's raining. So these are the improvements from 2019.40.2.1, and we'll see how it fares and how it compares to before the update. So I recorded footage before the update, and now we're going to drive a little bit and see if it has improved and how. All right, let's get to it. In this video, we're going to look at the issues I've had with the windshield wipers, and this is before the update that actually improves them. So we'll look at what the problem is and hopefully how Tesla can solve it. And of course, I won't be filming today because the weather is beautiful, but I've been filming over the past few days, and we'll look at the problem. So I've had quite a lot of issues with the automatic windshield wipers, mostly being that they were trigger late, and so sometimes they're fine, just like now. They triggered a few times already, but other times they trigger really late, and like you can barely see through the window, and it can be dangerous or problematic at times. So Tesla announced that they used neural net training in the new update to solve this, or at least improve it. So right now it's behaving pretty well, I must say. Basically, every time there's a problem with the windshield wipers and you have to trigger them manually, you can press a button at the left of the steering wheel. It's the button to actually also clean the windows. That will trigger the window cleaning liquid to be sprayed on. So it's interesting how it really depends on the rain and the lighting conditions. I'm guessing it must mostly depend on lighting conditions, because some people said that at night it barely works at all. One of the main differences in the Teslas compared to other cars for windshield wiper, automatic windshield wiper operation is that basically in a lot of standard cars they're using a system with a dedicated sensor for water on the windshield. And I'm not exactly sure how it works, if it's a camera or if it's some other types of infrared or something. But basically I had this in my previous car, in my Mitsubishi Colt, and it worked really well. I must say I had never, the system was really good. And so when I got this car, the Tesla, I was a little bit disappointed because I was expecting it to work as well or even better. And at times it worked really well, but other times it doesn't work so well. So here, for example, you see there's rain starting to accumulate on the window, and given the conditions that I'm in trying to get on the highway, I would probably like them to trigger about now. So let's see how late they trigger. So yeah, now it's getting pretty late. I would like to have triggered them now. Okay, now they trigger. So as you can see, that's what I'm talking about. In some conditions it can be a little bit late. So now it's starting to rain harder. Let's see what it does. So yeah, again it's accumulating a little bit. So I'm not driving fast, but if I was driving fast I would like that to clear out a little bit faster. So yeah, now I would have triggered it, definitely, because now I'm starting to have trouble. It's impairing my vision a little bit. So it still hasn't triggered. So this is a really good example of the problem. And now finally they trigger. So in my experience, it's about 1 or 2 seconds late. which if you're driving at this speed is not a problem, but if you're driving at highway speeds, 120 kilometers an hour in Switzerland, that can be much more dangerous. So yeah, that's hopefully the problem they will have solved, because for me there are two flaws with this car currently. It's the automatic windshield wipers and the automatic big lights. I'm not sure what to call them. So basically the lights that you use at night when there's no other cars. So the problem with the lights is that they don't turn off fast enough, often blinding other drivers. So I end up doing it manually all the time. So yeah, here again, it's a little bit on the late side. It might be due to the changing, now it's fine. It might be due to the changing light conditions, I'm not sure. Now it's fine. So you see, it's really difficult to know when it's going to do it well or not. Yeah, now that the rain has intensified, it seems to do an okay job, let's say. Yeah, it seems alright. Okay, now it's a little bit late. I would have liked to see it a little bit earlier. Yeah, here it's late again. So I'm really curious to see if how much this has improved in the update. Yeah, here definitely I was having trouble seeing. Yeah, so it was a Tesla Model S. Yeah, here I can't see anything anymore. Yeah, it should have triggered before. Yeah, here again. Always like 1 or 2 seconds late. So you really wonder, yeah, now it's fine. So you really wonder what makes it change in terms of quality here. Sometimes it's late, sometimes it's fine. Yeah, no, it seems okay now. So it might be some issue with contrast, meaning that if it doesn't have enough contrast, it's not going to do it properly. Because now it seems a little bit brighter than where we were before. So here it would be nice to have a wipe now, and it still hasn't done it, and now it has. So yeah, about that 1-2 second delay. It's like it's trying to be sharp. I would prefer it not to be sure and just do it. All right, we're almost there. And now look at this window, it needs a wipe. And there we have it. Okay, we can see already that I'm stopped right now and that the windshield wipers are turning on. Seems to me like they are a little bit more reactive than before, but let's start moving and see how that goes. So the other thing with this update is that they will start tracking how you modify the settings for the windshield wipers and use that to train the network to improve the windshield wiper automatic mode. So far it does seem like it's reacting to less rain than before. And now the windshield wipers have gone full speed. Although it's not, oops. Somebody just splashed that person there. That wasn't very nice. Yeah, so now the wipers have gone pretty fast. I'm not sure it really requires that, but so they seem to have gone from not turning on enough to turning almost too much. Okay, what's interesting is that I've now stopped and I took my foot off the brake, and the windshield wipers are still going, even though I'm completely stopped. So it seems like now you have to manually turn them off. So if you don't know how to turn off the windshields completely, you simply push this button and then you press here, and that will turn them completely off. Okay, but I don't want to do that. I want to keep them on automatic. All right, Oh, that's interesting. Okay, that's better. Okay, so yeah, now they've shifted to an intermediate setting, which was not the case before. And before they were like pretty much constant, so now we have them a little bit lower, but they're still pretty much more active than before, so that's good. Okay, we're gonna go on the highway now. I'm gonna check how the windshield wipers behave at high speeds, so that'll be interesting to see if I see any differences in their behavior, because so far on small roads it's been actually quite good. Sometimes they were a bit fast, but I prefer that to the opposite. So here it's still raining, so we're gonna accelerate not too hard. Let's see how it handles all this rain. So what's interesting here is that we have water not only coming from the sky, but also from the cars in front of me. That also was an issue for the automatic windshield wipers before. Oh, actually we have poor weather detected there. So that was also an issue for the automatic windshield wipers before the update, when suddenly a splash of water would come on. So far it seems to be doing really well. It's pretty much what I would like it to do. We'll continue here and see what happens. So yeah, this is exactly what I would expect the windshield wipers to do for the moment. So that's pretty good. I don't need them to be higher than that. I'm pretty comfortable with it as they are. And what's amazing is that, I mean, the automatic autopilot sees cars perfectly when even I have trouble making them out, and the lines are predicted really well too. I did also notice in this update that the car seems to be moving within the line a little bit more. I'm not sure exactly what's going on there. It's as if it was dynamically adjusting its position in the lane, which it did not do before. Before it would really try to stay as center as it could. So I'm wondering if it's adjusting, for example, the forces that it's feeling. And you can see here it saw the entrance to the highway because there was a line merging in. I also find the refresh rate and the global animations on the screen here, on the left part of the screen, to become, for each version, they seem to become more fluid and more precise. For example, car positions. Oh, that's interesting. So here we have the left front fender blocked or blinded. I don't know why it says that. If maybe it could be water. So this is one of the new messages that was not available in the previous versions. And I'm not sure why it said that. I'm guessing maybe water was on the pillar, because it cannot be sunlight, that's for sure. Okay, and here we're going to have an automatic exit of the highway in the rain. Oh no, I'm not sure if Navigate on Autopilot is back, so we'll see if it does it or not. But it seems to be active. We'll see if it does the exit or not. Yeah, its car seems to be moving to the right. Yeah, so it's going to do the exit. So autopilot is back on. The windshield wipers have gone down in speed also a little bit. So let's see. Last time it didn't jerk me as much as the last times, but here we're going slower also. So, oh no, it's not doing it. Okay, so that's interesting. It didn't actually do the turn, but it did go to the right of the lane as if, so that's weird. I don't know why it did that. Alright, so far the windshield wipers have behaved very well. No complaints for the moment. Before I would have on a drive, and this is not a long drive, but on a drive like this I would have had a few occasions where I would have had to manually trigger them, and so far I haven't needed to do that at all. So that's a very good point for this update. Yeah, so all that's remaining is to do a lower light test, because that's where I saw the most issues. It'd be also interesting to go through a tunnel, because one of the problems I had was that if I had water going into on the windshield going into the tunnel, the windshields would not turn on, and because there was no more, it wasn't raining outside, and that was a nuisance. So I would have preferred it to clear that. So we'll have to see how that goes also, and then we can basically conclude this test of the automatic windshield wipers with the 2019.40.2.1 update. Oh, now they've turned down. That's interesting. It's really interesting how it adapts. You can tell it's been trained with machine learning, because sometimes I have trouble explaining why it's changing. One thing I also noticed was that the windshield wiper behavior, overall behavior, is much more dynamic. Whereas before it would change very slowly. Here it can shift from slow to fast much quicker. So it does seem to be adjusting a lot faster to various conditions, which is really a good thing, because even if it miscalculates, for example, the speed, it will adjust it. For example, just a few seconds ago, I had the windshield wipers going on really fast, and then they corrected really quickly, which is what I would have done manually too. So actually, we're gonna be able to sort of simulate the tunnel just by going into the parking lot. So basically, when I'll go to my parking lot at my destination here, we'll see how the wipers behave as we go in, and see if they leave water on the windshield or if they get rid of it. It's still raining pretty hard, so see here, the windshield wipers just went into a frenzy. I'm not sure why, because I'm stopped. Okay, now they slowed down again. All right, so let's check this out. Let's see how this behaves. Okay, so they're still moving a little bit, and now they stopped, and they came back. That's interesting. And they're still moving a little bit. That's interesting. Okay, are they gonna stay off now? Or are they gonna come back on? There's not much water left on the windshield. At least it's not a problem for me. It looks like they're not going to turn on again. So I'm looking at the position of the camera to see if it should detect water where it is positioned, and it doesn't. Here I'm getting some humidity on the windshield though, because of the difference with the air here. So here it's not turning it on. So maybe I'll need to turn it on manually here. Let's try it out. Yeah, you see that made a big difference. So yeah, they need to learn that. Nighttime, and it's still raining a lot. So we're gonna see how these windshield wipers perform.
Yay!
So right now they're not turning on yet, which would be great if they did. Okay, so maybe we have a first bug now, because now they should be on. Okay, so I guess there's, am I just checking if they're on? Yeah, they're on automatic. So, okay, we have our first bug, because here the windshield wipers should definitely be on, and they're not even moving. So, I'll try triggering them manually.
Oh yeah, now.
Yeah, okay. Now they've started, but that took a while. So yeah, first bug. Nighttime testing was a good idea. Okay, so we're gonna drive through the city first, and we're gonna check how it behaves, and then we'll go on the highway quickly and we'll check how that fares. So initial turning on was not working properly. Yeah, they're going faster now. Okay, so now I should mention also that we have not only rain, but we have wind. So this is a pretty extreme testing of the windshield wipers, and they seem to be working hard, that's for sure. So we'll see what happens on the highway when there's we add speed to this.
If you have a gasoline car, just sell it for Tesla.
A good point. Okay, so now we're out of the city, so there's no more street lights, there's only other cars. So let's see how it behaves. So far it seems to be doing good. Oh, windshield wipers are slowing down. Okay.
That's strange.
Yeah, that is strange.
That's a second bug.
No, it's still okay. It's still acceptable. Okay, we're getting on the highway now, so we'll be going a lot faster. Let's hope the windshield wipers will behave. Here we go.
Do it.
Okay, so it seems like there's not only water, but there's also some fog. Or maybe that's just the amount of rain that cars are lifting from the road. Okay, so far so good. We're driving a bit slow, but we have good visibility with windshield wipers. Try if we can see the line change. All right. That worked well. Yeah. Okay, the windshield wipers have increased in speed, which is good because we're getting a lot more rain on the and these cars are slowing down big time. Okay. These conditions are pretty extreme for the wipers because there's a lot of traffic and people aren't driving very well. They're braking a lot. But amazingly, autopilot seems to be doing really well. So far, we've had no problems whatsoever with the wipers. So for me, it's a big improvement on the performance of these windshield wipers. So definitely worth it. So good job, Tesla. And here there's a bike. Does the car see it? I don't think so. I don't see it on the... My goodness, he must be wet. Oh yes, it does. Wow, I'm impressed. We're getting that right door pillar camera blinded again. So I think that's just because it's so dark that it doesn't see anything. But this is a new message, and it appears pretty frequently actually. So I have it in high glare situations, but also it seems like we get it in some obscurity. Or maybe it's a problem with when the camera changes exposure. If it goes to a really high exposure level and then there's some lights, it gets blinded. That's probably I think what's happening. So here we're gonna go in the forest and hopefully be able to use the big lights. And yep. Okay, let's put on the big lights. If they come on. I think the lights is the next thing that they need to machine learn a little bit, because I'm not too impressed by the automatic high beam lights. But the windshield wipers, okay, so here. That's pretty blinding. So the wipers are a little bit less fast now, but they're still working decently. I can still see where I'm going. Lots of traffic tonight, my goodness, I've never seen that much traffic on this road. Okay, so there the windshield wipers are a bit slow because there's getting a lot of water on the windshield, especially because of the water from the falling trees. Okay, here the windshield wipers could go faster. I think they're a little bit too weak here. They should be accelerating. Yeah, here the windshield wipers are not fast enough. Oh, and now they picked up. Okay. Yeah, so okay, so now it seems like we found some conditions where the windshield wipers are a tad slow in my taste. It's not as bad as before. As when before the update, I said that there's like a 2-second delay to what I would do, but now it's more like half a second, not even. So it's a lot better, but yeah, it can do better in this situation. So let's hope that the system learns that, and that with the next updates it'll perform better. But it's already a huge improvement over the previous system, because I ended up doing it manually almost all the time, and on this ride I could keep it on automatic, and it worked pretty well. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you liked it, please put a thumbs up and subscribe and hit the notification bell to get notified when I release the next video. And of course, if you're interested in buying one of these cars that keep improving over time and that are a lot of fun to drive, make sure you use a referral code. I'll put mine in the description below. You'll get free stuff like supercharger, electricity, and I'll get the same. So it's a win-win. All right, if you have any questions also, you can ask them in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer you as quickly as possible.
If your kids, the comments are disabled.
Oh yes, that's right. For kids, the comments are disabled. All right, so see you in the next video, and have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year if I don't see you before that.
Bravo!